I'm approaching Crissy Field. Jesse Jackson called for a march to protest Proposition 209, the ban on affirmative action in California. Felton Fenderson, the judge who ruled that it was an invalid proposition and unconstitutional, was overturned by the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. And therefore today, Proposition 209, ban on affirmative action in university admissions, contracting, and other social situations, has now gone officially into force. My take is this: the people have been beat, battered, bruised, bloodied, and bewildered with 400 years of racism and conspiratorial discrimination, and they need a chance to play in the economy and in the society. There's some marchers in another one of these pretend cable cars.
Please, no banners, no demonstrations. This is a very peaceful and dignified march, and we certainly want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for participating.
Finally here, huh? You stay close with that camera.
I'm going to. Continuing on our walk to Vista Point, getting ready to begin the march. Waiting to begin the march. Looks to be at least a couple of thousand.
Is trying to do in terms of education. The school that I was at, there was only 300 black students there. We made up about 2% of the entire school population. So you cannot tell me that affirmative action is not needed in education as well as hiring.
So
a comment for us?
There's enough colleges in America for us all, and we just feel that every child should be entitled to go to a college of their choice. And you rather make jails as opposed to allow our kids to go to medical and legal colleges, and we just think it's a disgrace. How can we be self-sufficient if we're being denied the opportunity to educate our children?
We're gonna overcome today, not someday. I am sick of that. We shall overcome someday. That's too long. We have to overcome today.
All right.
I'm starting to think that maybe in the 60s we made a mistake when we were fighting for affirmative action. Because what we should have been fighting for was reparations. The reparations should be made for the people that were brought here in slavery, whose children still continue to struggle. All African-American children should have free scholarships to any university that they wish to go to. 3 months ago, another Chinese American was shot dead in front of his own home. His name was Gao Guanzhong, and he was killed by the Sonoma police. Today we challenge the Judicial Department to investigate. Why did they kill a civilian who is unarmed, merely drunk? And that's the kind of racism we gotta fight in America.
When the calf elephant fell in the hole, there were 2 female elephants, humongous elephants, who got down on their knees, lowered their tusks down in the mud hole, and they pulled that calf elephant up out of that hole. In American society, in American history, many people have gotten the dung of racism, sexism, homophobia on their feet, and they've fallen down into the hole and been kept back because of their gender, the color of their skin, or where they came from. But we're here today because we know that affirmative action is just giving those elephants who got the merit, for they still have the will to excel and be somebody. We're going to work and pull everybody up. We're going to work in Sacramento. We're going to march on Sacramento until all of God's elephants are up out of the road, out of the road, out of the road.
Not too many years ago, Dr. King said, "I have a dream." But today we have to declare we're living a nightmare. We're living a nightmare when today in America 50,000 African American men are in jail. We're living a nightmare. We're living a nightmare when 50% of African American children are living underneath of the poverty level. We're living a nightmare. We're living a nightmare when we have to come all the way here to California from Washington, D.C. to tell Pete Wilson he's living on a limited time contract and this is the last time he's going to serve as governor because we have decided. We need to let America know that there is a new generation of revolutionaries. There's a new revolution, new generation of civil rights fighters. There's a new revolution of people, of young people of age who are singing new rape gangster rap music. The original gangster rap music was, I ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. The original gangster rap music was, before I be a slave, I'll be dead, buried in my grave, and go home to my Lord and be free. We're here because it's a new day.
The struggle continues. There is no way for us to simply concentrate on 209 and honor the rich tradition we have of struggle. We cannot simply believe that it's about 209. It's about what kind of society we want to build. It's about whether we want to push back the clock 40 years or more, or whether we build a just and good society based on an ethics of sharing, shared space, shared wealth, shared power, and shared responsibility for building the world we want to live in. Fannie Lou Hamer said it, we must daily question America. We must question a country that pretends to be the home of the brave and then beats Haitians mercilessly in the police station. We must question a country that in fact brags on its wealth and yet cultivates poverty.
30 years ago, I was a student at San Francisco State College when Governor Ronald Reagan tried to frighten us and told us he was going to send the troops in order to make the black students go away, in order to make the Latin American students go away, the students for a democratic society to go away. And when Governor Reagan said he was going to send the troops, we said we are not afraid. And we say to Pete Wilson, we are not afraid of you. We are not afraid of 209. And we are here to tell you that we are prepared to continue the struggle. Let today mark the occasion in which this fight will continue. We are not just here to emotionalize. We will register to vote. We will march. We will preach. We will write letters. Will we do all of these things? And we will only do them if we really want this. Do we want this? Do we want this?
We all hold hands together as we send a very strong and loud message. We not only say no to Proposition 209, but we say no to English only. We say no to the efforts to eliminate bilingual education.
I want to let you know, like Martin Luther King said, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. And we're here to tell Pete Wilson that we will not fall for the okie doke any longer.
Let me assure you, there are very few people existed in America that didn't have somebody who put in a good word for them. That didn't have somebody who reached back and extended a hand. That didn't have somebody who said, give them a chance. Every time anybody has done that, that's affirmative action. I've met enough of these dim-witted politicians who supported 209 to know that their titles didn't come on merit. And if they had ever had to compete on the standards they try to establish for people of color, for women, and for gay and lesbians, they wouldn't be any place in existence. And let me present to you now the man who pulled us together. The man who walked with Dr. King from Selma to Birmingham to Nashville to Chicago to San Francisco to Washington, D.C. and now back to San Francisco. Jesse Louis Jackson! Dr. King called it a dream. Then as now, learning to live together under one big tent remains the moral imperative of our times. For the dream, we challenge closed-door policies. We face dogs, jails, untimely deaths. I'd already gone to jail twice trying to use a library and public facilities. Then, as today, there was a struggle at the crossroads, a struggle, a tug of war, defining dreamers and the Dreambusters. There were the Dreambusters who were demagogues of racial fear, division, hatred, and violence, who perpetuated racism and sexism and anti-Semitism and classism as compass of the culture which should be perpetuated when in fact the recursions of the culture which had to be eliminated. There were the Dreambusters who limited educational opportunities with manipulative standards for admission, limited the right to vote using literacy tests. They used literacy tests to keep people illiterate. They limited the potential of women and people of color, thus thwarting opportunity, development, and growth that drove the ideology of supremacy and division with unfounded fears. But the dreamers of hope and faith and inclusion remained insistent. It is poetic injustice that on this day, 34 years from the day that the dream of hope and inclusion was projected, that a Proposition 209 has been unleashed like a Scud missile with the effect of bludgeoning the dreams of this generation. What is the dream? A one big tent America with 5 basic promises. Under that one big tent, equal protection under the law, equal opportunity, equal access, fair share, and an extended hand for the least of these who languish at the margins, who are trying to make it to the shore. The dream that Dr. King projected was a dream often now misinterpreted and distorted by the radical right. Those who did not march with him, who did not support him, cannot now be the interpreters of his dream. I can interpret the dream. I walked with him. I marched with him. I stood with him the day he lived. What is the dream? The dream is not to be colorblind, not gender blind, but to be color and gender sensitive, color and gender caring, color and gender inclusive. You need not be blind to be humane and fair and just and kind and generous. It's not our dream to lock children up. It's our dream to lift them up. We'll have a higher vision than jails. Our vision is not 3 strikes and you're out. It's 4 balls in your hole. Talk about a dream. Prenatal care and Head Start, ball 1. An adequately funded public education, ball 2. A mouth with a skill, a chance to go to college, ball 3. And a job, ball 4. Put our children on, don't put them away. Prop 209 was a wolf in sheep's clothing. It says it's against discrimination and yet offers no remedy to offset the impact of persistent gender and race gaps and denials. There are 2 medical schools with 0 blacks this fall. 400 applicants, all rejected. And 80% drop at UCLA in black, brown, and Native American enrollment. To celebrate this, you have to be a moral degenerate, insensitive, uncaring, immoral, un-American. We deserve better than this. On this day, Dr. King said, now is the time to make real the promise of democracy. Now is the time to rise from the dark and desolate valley of segregation, the sunlit path of racial justice. Now is the time to make justice a reality for all God's children. Don't let them break your spirits. There's power in our marching feet. We'll keep fighting for one big tent America under which all of us fit. We will save the dream. We'll fight for the one lost sheep that's left behind. We will save the dream. We will open school doors. We will expand the job market. We will save the dream. We'll fight for health care for everybody. We will save the dream. I know it's dark, but the morning comes. There's power in this dream. Graveyards cannot contain it. Bullets cannot kill it. Lies cannot distract it. There's power in this dream. Young people, you keep dreaming. Joseph was a youthful dreamer. He was a minority with a majority dream. He dreamed beyond his circumstances. Don't let them break your spirit. Chavez labored in the fields of Calexico and in Watsonville. Don't let them break your spirit. Dr. King faced bitter opposition in the face of death. He will not surrender. Don't let them break your spirit. David said, yea, though I walk through the valleys, shadows of death, I will fear no evil, for the Lord is with me. David would not let them break his dream. Mandela spent 27 years in jail. 27 years in jail. He will not let them break his dream. Don't let them break your dream. Don't let them stop you from fighting back and marching and having dignity. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then God will forgive our sins. God will part from heaven. God will heal our land. It's healing time. It's hope time. It's dreaming time. It's healing time. It's hope time. It's dreaming time. It's healing time. It's hope time. It's dreaming time. You are somebody. You are God's child. Red and yellow. Brown, black, and white. We're all precious in God's sight.